Oh, what's good, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadow Loke, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and are subscribed to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. Now, what I wanted to discuss today was HARP. Now, what is HARP? HARP is uh, it's a facility, right? That stands for high active aurora research program, right? It's a program that was started by the University of Alaska Fairbanks and branches of the United States military, right? But what caught my interest in this, right, was a subscriber, and my bad, Joseph. It took me this long to do the video, right? It's just that I had never heard of it when you first brought it up, and I actually wanted to do my research and actually, I wanted to come right, right. I just don't want to come in, not knowing what the hell I'm talking about, right? So I know it took me a while, right? But there was so much shit. There was such a big rabbit hole. It was crazy, right? But a part of my subscriber that asked me for the video, I had also seen that a lot of Trump supporters would bring this topic up, right? And I never bothered to give it no how could I say, like, no thought to it, right? Of what they were talking about. It really didn't, catch my attention like that, right? But then when the individual brought it up, and then I started looking into it, right? Because a lot of Trump supporters believe this theory, right? Which is basically, they believe that this, facility or these group of individuals they're the ones that control the weather, right? That they pretty much they control the weather. They cause hurricanes and earthquakes and all kinds of shit, you know, and that it's being controlled by the government. Some say the Democrats, some say the whole entire government, but it's think of it kind of like a weather machine that a supervillain in a movie would use, right? Like they're able to just control weather. So yeah, they believe this, right? So I started, doing it, my digging, right? Because I was like, well, there's got to be some kind of, at least some solid, ground for this many people to believe this, right? I don't want to be an asshole, these are just my opinions. Keep that in mind. But one of the things that always blows my mind about conspiracy theories, right, is always that they give. It's like people don't give no thought to the conspiracy that they're talking about, right? That how it just truly doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? Because if here we're talking about a device that can control weather, create earthquakes, can heat up the sky, to extreme temperatures, that actually they think that that's what's causing global warming. So they're pretty much, this device is a powerful device, right? So this thing is like practically superpowers, right? It's something that's just like, like a superpower, like having superpowers, like a fucking X-Men or some shit. So with a device so powerful and like who exactly is controlling this device, right? Like who's actually doing this, right? And now if it is the government would have been able to get their way about anything a long, long time ago if this was really true, right? Because they were just threatening people with causing natural disasters. If you guys don't, fall in line or get in line, we're just going to create, tsunamis and tornadoes. And you know what I mean? There wouldn't have to be no fucking protests and arguments back and forth. They would just, unleash this power and make the people submit, right? I mean, who's going to be able to combat such a device like this that could control the weather? Who's going to be able to stop them? Nobody. So something so powerful, yet at the same time, it's like, okay, if this exists, then what are they looking to do with this? Like, are they looking to conquer, take over? And it looks like you're pretty much, saying that you want is to control people and the weather and shit like that, right? So to show your dominance, but yet you don't do it when people are getting out of line and you have all this destruction happening and people calling you out on it. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense though. And like who would control all of this? You know what I mean? And it's like I hear people say government, but like who in the government? Like what in the government though? You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't make any sense though. Like why destroy the very areas that these individuals are trying to rule over, or dominate over? It just doesn't make any sense, though. What is a kingdom without people? You know what I mean? So they come up with the most wildest stuff, right? But it just doesn't make any sense, though. Like when you just give it the most smallest of thought, like what? Like, so wouldn't they have already, used this to conquer the world already? I mean, who's gonna be able to challenge that? That just the person would have already been, all supreme king already. Ain't nobody gonna try to fight against that. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense, right? And when you look into it, there's actually nothing to support these people's, theories, right? Like there's no concrete evidence, just a whole lot of, the government lies, the government keeps secrets, the government, yeah, this is true. The government does lies, the government does keep secrets. This is very true. You shouldn't trust the government. Yeah, very true. See those, that's plausible, that's realistic. Okay, yeah. This, my guy, though, this is, you're reaching already. Do I believe that they lie and they keep shit from us and they do this kind of shit? Yes. Do I believe they have, devices like this and that they're doing, this kind of weird shit? No, bro. No. They give them the most, best abilities and, technology and power, yet they have them do the most dumbest things and the most dumbest agendas and the most dumbest plans that make no sense. Or they're looking to take over the celebrities, that way they can manipulate us through them. And like, I'm telling you, bro, like the most nonsense plans of all time. You know what I mean? Like they make them really smart and powerful, and at the same time stupid and like reckless. It just doesn't make any sense. It's either one or the other, bro. At the convenience they like to switch it up. But overall, I don't believe in this conspiracy. I think it's reaching. Um, there's no machine that controls the weather, and there's no. But that's just my opinion. I was just wondering, um, why these a lot of people believe in this, right? And when the homie, told me, hey, gracias, my boy, I appreciate it. I know you believe in it, and I'm not trying to insult your beliefs and stuff like that, right? You asked for my opinion. This is just my opinion, right? It's my point of view, right? Um, and I'm just gonna keep it real, right here. I'm not gonna lie. But it just doesn't make sense, right? Now I'm not saying that you have to see it from my perspective now too, or that you're wrong and I'm right, right? But this is just what I believe. This is my thoughts. So, um, yeah. But overall, yeah, I don't see, I don't see this one. You know what I mean? This is I know you brought up, Edward Snow and everything. Like, yeah, all that is like, legit, true shit, right? And it's plausible, right? Everything he said was not just like on some, type shit like this, right? We're saying that they be listening through our phones and everything. See, but that's plausible. See, that's believable. See, that can actually happen. But a device that can control the weather and nah. That's already, you're aiming now. You're aiming. See, I can see why they would want to, listen into people's, devices and phone to gather information. See, I can see why they would want to do this, but the weather destroying shit. But that's just my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments and shout out. We out.